Finally, I think we have someone here who asked about commercial properties. All right, class, get settled down quickly. We will start this today's lesson. Good to see everyone back, nice and fresh after the semester's break. Settle down quickly so that we can continue with this new semester. The system have captured quite a number of questions. So just a reminder again, since it's been a while we have lessons, that the questions are graded on a few points. Whether this decision will lead to a capital gain or a profit in future. So you need to remember that when you post the questions. And is there an exit plan when this course of action is taken? So as a student in real estate, you should think about this carefully when you post the questions, right? So this is how we will grade the question. So going to quickly jump into it now. The first question, it says that should we buy now that interest rates are at a high point, or should we wait for it to come down? So I suppose your "it" here refers to the interest rates and not property prices, right? So very important question. I'll give it a grade A2. This is a good question. And interest rates have been going up in the past 1 year. It's been a while since we are used to interest rates that are below 2% or even at 1%. But in the property buying cycle, interest rates are not the only thing to consider, even though it's an important factor because that will determine your cost of purchase or cost of holding the property. For it to come down, we go through economic cycles and interest rates follow that as well. But as I've always reminded the class, it will be quite foolish to speculate when prices will come down. One important correlation I always want to put out there for you to consider: if the buying activity is still strong now when interest rates are on a high point, when interest rates come down, don't you think that buying activity will in fact increase? I hope that will be a very key reminder for you. All right, the next question: will a 25-year-old leasehold property continue to grow? Yeah, it will continue to grow old, that's for sure. I'm very surprised. Maybe you play too much during your holiday. So this question, I'll give it a C6. I must highlight this is leasehold 25-year-old. A 25-year-old property probably will be ready for en bloc quite soon, provided that it's in a good location, good amenities, good transport option that will attract developers to go to that kind of position. If not, it's very hard for a 25-year-old leasehold property to continue growing in value. So this is not a good option for investment if you're asking from that point of view. So please remember our basis for us asking questions. This one totally doesn't meet the requirements at all. Finally, I think we have someone here who asked about commercial properties. I'm already an investor in properties, of which I have a few commercial properties. Should I sell a commercial property to buy a residential one? Right, so I think there's a lot of thought given to this question. Again, I want to grade it an A2. Very good question. I just want to give some broad guidelines here about how you buy and sell. If the commercial property is reaching its maturity, that means in terms of the asset value, this could be a good time to actually recycle your portfolio, and that means to sell the commercial property and buy into a residential one. We need to just bear in mind commercial properties have a much shorter lifespan. Typically, if you're talking about a B1, it's only 60 years. If it's a B2, it's only 30 years, so it's even shorter. So depending on how long this property was bought, that means you may want to quickly actually sell it before the lease starts dropping furthermore. And then buying a residential is also dependent on where the residential market is right now. If you see an opportunity in the CCR region, then selling off a commercial property to enter into a CCR market then will maximize your returns. Right? So the whole idea and guiding principle is that where is the life cycle of the commercial property and where is the life cycle of the residential market now, and that will tell you when you should do this recycling of properties. I think there's a follow-up question to this. If the person owns multiple commercial properties, should he then sell one of it? If you own multiple commercial properties, you really do have to see the size of these properties and the kind of rental yield they are fetching right now. Just bear in mind the lease is dropping for a commercial property where it's already 60 years to begin with, so you don't want to hold a property until it's left with only 20 or 30 years in the lease. And then by then, the value will have dropped considerably and it will be harder for you to cash out. All right, so that's all for today. I think overall, we have pretty good questions except for one C6. I hope that student will please go back and revise on your notes. Maybe the term break was too long for you. You forgot the fundamentals that we have covered. But if not, see you soon. And yes, you can go for your break now. Thank you very much. I want to drink my coffee. Thank you.